Hey, sports fans, this is Robert with WTP Sports Dudes here live on this Sunday morning, ready to talk some NBA conference finals. And we all in the sports world know there's been tons of sports buzz going on out there in the world. Let's get it started today. I got my man, SEC Sean, in the building with me. How you feeling this morning, SEC Sean?
We're good. This is one of my favorite days of the year, man. Indy 500, Coca-Cola 600. Yeah, this is one of my favorite days to just sit my rear end on the comfy couch cushion and just flip a couple channels. That's my day right here.
I know that's right, man. As sports fans, that's what we want the most, to be able to sit on a comfortable couch and just flip a couple of channels so we can watch whatever our sports fix is for the day. I hope at some point today I'll get to do that. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll get to see later on today. Let's get right on into this action. The NBA is down to the conference finals. In the East, we got the Knicks and the Cavs. The Knicks are up 3-0 over the Cavs. Do the Cavs get swept? Or is there, and what is the issue that the Cavs are facing with this Knicks team?
Well, do they get swept? I mean, betting money is going to say yes, based on the way the games have played out. We talked backstage a few minutes ago, and like I said, I could see the Knicks dropping a game on purpose to be able to close it out at home. Kind of called the gentleman's sweep. I've heard the term used on that for it before. There's probably other terms, but I think the Knicks are a bad matchup for the Cavs. The Knicks have a dog in them, and Jalen Brunson is just a dog. I remember him from back in his days with the Mavericks. I hated when he left to go to the Knicks because I thought with him there we had a really good shot. Better, but I think the Knicks are you have bad matchups in sports. You could have a great team, and there's one team that matches up with them wrong. Prime example is hockey. For the couple of years in a row, Dallas Stars made the Western Conference Finals, but they matched up with Edmonton. Edmonton is a bad matchup for Dallas because Edmonton plays with such speed, and Dallas wants to just lock down defensively. It was just a bad matchup. It just didn't work out. So that's kind of my main thing I see between the Knicks and the Cavs.
Yeah, I'm thinking that the Cavs are going to get swept. If I'm the Knicks, and we did talk backstage about that gentleman's sweep, letting them get one and then winning it on your home court. But if I'm the Knicks, I want to get this thing over with and get as much rest as possible. I don't think they have anybody nursing any serious injuries, but I still will rather get that rest. You just came off of a long season. They've won 10 straight, I believe, so far in this playoffs, the last 10 matchups. And I feel like the Knicks, they got 5 guys that they start, and they all can get you buckets. For the Cavs, that's not the case when you got Jared Allen, because Jared Allen does not get you much other than defense and rebounds. He's a pretty decent passer, but he just doesn't get you. He's not a guy you can get the ball to and he's going to go get you a bucket. And I think that's what the Cavs are facing against this Knicks team, is that it doesn't matter who the ball hands are in. Those guys for the Knicks can score. They can go get a bucket. And then when you got a guy like Brunson, who, like you said, he's just a dog, bro. And I think he smells blood in the water. And I think he's going to go ahead in this next game and say, listen, guys, as professional basketball players, we got a chance to seize the moment and go ahead and get rid of these dudes and go home, regroup, rest, enjoy a little bit of time with our families, and then get ready for whoever wins the Spurs and the Thunder series. And I think they're going to end it in Cleveland in this next matchup, which I think is on Monday. So I got them sweeping the Cavs and getting this thing over with. But I can definitely see them, wanting to win it on their home court in front of their Knicks fans too, as well.
Well, here's another part of it. The Thunder and Spurs, I believe, play tonight.
Mm-hmm.
If the Spurs win that and tie that up at 2, I could see the Knicks doing the gentleman's sweep because they know they're going to have an extra day anyway. And you don't want too much rest. We've seen what too much rest can do to a team. So I think a lot depends. If the Thunder win, I think the Knicks may sweep and close it out. But if San Antonio wins, I could see New York pushing another game, letting a game go in Cleveland.
Yeah, that's a good assessment.
Don't get me wrong. Cleveland can go off. If you got Mitchell and Harden just cranking threes and hitting them, Cleveland can beat them. But I mean that's your path right there. Those two have to score, over 30 apiece. Is what I would say for Cleveland.
Yeah, they definitely gonna have to get on the heat of those two, and then get some timely buckets from Mobley as well. If they can do that, they could possibly get this game 4. But we'll wait and see on Monday to see what they do. I think that's when they play again. Let's talk a little bit about that Thunders and Spurs series. Thunders and Spurs play today with the Thunder up 2-1. Will the Spurs even the series? And is it all on Wembley's shoulders with the injuries they have? With Harper and Fox nursing some injuries. Is it all on Wembley's shoulders?
Well, I think for most of the season, the whole season's been on Wemby, has been his shoulders. The others have just kind of filled in as, needed when he was down or whatever the case may be. So being the superstar, that's always on your shoulders. But with the injuries, I mean, his role has to get bigger to offset. I don't want to say their shortcomings, but if they're not up to 100%, there's going to be shortcomings in their game, and he has to be able to pick up that slack. Can he do it? Of course he can. He's one of the best players in the league, if not, the best, right now. So, but you also have to remember that this is a very playoff seasoned Oklahoma City team. They've been there. They've done that, defending champions. So these are the two teams I think most people expected in the Western Finals, to be honest. I think most people had the Thunder and the Spurs in there based on the regular season. Can they even the series? Yeah. I mean, the game's in San Antonio, and those people get a little rowdy down there, trust me. After being from Texas for so long, those San Antonio people can go nuts. I'd actually look for San Antonio to even the series. I still think Oklahoma City pulls it out in 7, but I think the Spurs even it up, and then I think you go best of 3, and I just see it going back and forth at that point. Home win, home win, home win. It's just the way I see it. So, but yeah, I mean, you'd love to see. You hate to see anybody nursing any injuries in the playoffs. You want teams at 100%, but that's not the case in any sport. Every sport, guys are banged up at the end of the year. So we're going to see what Wemby can do. I noticed last game, I believe it was in our group chat. I wasn't able to watch that game, but I saw some of the chat, and they're saying Wemby looked like he might be nursing something a little bit. He was playing a little soft. So something to keep an eye on there. We'll just have to see how it plays out. But that's kind of where I stand on both those series right now.
Yeah, I think the Spurs can even up this series. I mean, I think they can. It's going to take a monumental effort from Wemby to be able to do so. He can't play 49 minutes like he did in the first game and the heroics that he had with the 41 points and the 24 rebounds. He's going to need a lot of help. And I think that the issue with that is that OKC has so many bodies that they can throw at you, throw at Wemby and that team that it's going to be very, very difficult for them to even this series up. I think they can, but I don't think they will. They could easily be down 3-1 because OKC was winning that game one, to close out the regular part of that game. And Wemby, with his heroics, knocks down the big three, gets the big block. And so OKC could be up 3-0 right now. I think the fact that you got those injuries on the Spurs and Wemby probably being a little tired after 49 minutes in game one, 41 points, 24 rebounds, just putting it all out on the court in that game one has probably taken some of the spark out of the Spurs. They definitely got to get this game, though, and if they think they're going to force a game seven or even a game six. Because I think if they drop this one, they're definitely going to be done by 5. Um, but I can see them winning this game. It's just going to take a monumental effort from Wembley. He got to put the team on his shoulders. Um, every time down the floor, just about, they're going to have to go through him offensively, in my opinion. And even if it's just for him to draw the double team to get the ball out of his hand so he can pass it to an open guy for a clean shot, that might be the system that they might have to play in this next game tonight. But I think Wembley got to put it all on his shoulders just because of the nature of it, the injuries they have on that team. But he's a guy that can do it. I believe he's the best player in the NBA, even though he didn't win the MVP. I think he's still the best player in the NBA, and we haven't never, in the years I've been watching the NBA, seen anything like Wemby. I mean, a guy who is 7'5", 7'6", can go out on the perimeter, knock down threes, can handle the ball, can pass, can get to the cup. I mean, we've never seen a guy like that before. It's definitely on his shoulders, though. Definitely on his shoulders.
Yeah, this is part of that. It goes to back to what I said about the difference in the experience. You know, you got your superstar playing 49 minutes, which I get he needs to in a double overtime game. And you know, I hate to tell y'all, but that's a lot of basketball that's been played. 82 games plus the playoffs. Those legs got to get a little tired at some point. Mm-hmm. So I think that's where Oklahoma City's management of being through a playoff finals run before kind of helps. Hey, we got to get this guy off the court 5 extra minutes this game or something for he's got to be able to get his legs back going. So, but you know, we'll see how it plays out. I still have it 7, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Time will tell. Let's move our attentions to college football. If the CFP goes to 24 teams, should the first and second round home games be bowl games on the higher ranked team's field to preserve bowl season? We talked a little bit about this in the chat, and I would like to get your thoughts, you know, for the audience to know what's your thoughts on this concept and the possibility, because we know that if we do go to 24, there's going to be something that's going to affect the bowl season. Is this something that can help preserve the bowl season?
Well, we'll start with this. I know y'all talked about it a little bit on yesterday's stream. I was a little busy, so I couldn't get on, but I did catch I caught the stream. I don't see them going to 24, first off. I just don't see it. I think there's too many powers that don't want 24. It has to be a unanimous vote, and everything I'm hearing, the SEC is not voting for it. So SEC will say, we'll stay at 12 or 16. We're not going to 24. So, and of course, the mouse company doesn't want 24 either. But we did talk about this, and it's a great question. My point on this is I don't like it. I get it saves bowl season. I would rather not have the bowl games listed as playoff games, in at least the first and second round. I would rather fill in the bowl games with get rid of the 6-win mark. If you need to use a couple of 5-7 teams, put them. Putting a 5-7 team versus a 5-7 team in the Bahamas Bowl isn't really going to hurt anything. It's going to give those kids extra practice, the young kids. So I get rid of the 6-win mark to get into a bowl game if you have to. If there's not enough 6-win teams, fill in with who's left. Secondly, a home playoff game should be a home playoff game. If Texas A&M is hosting Miami and it's the Pinstripe Bowl, because that's the day it is, at Kyle Field, and A&M has to give up 50% of the ticket sales to Miami, well, now this is not a home playoff game. This is now a game. Yes, you're going to have but they're going to have as many of their fans there too. Now, if you can figure out the ticket split and go 80-20, 70-30, but are the bowl companies going to like that idea? Because now it's not really a bowl. It's the Pinstripe Bowl at Kyle Field, presented by Mobile One or something. I don't know. It's going to seem like a NASCAR car guy when he wins. There's going to be so many sponsors to name. But I see the point in preserving bowl season. I love bowl season. I'm an old head. I think we all loved it. When we was in school and you was out for winter break, and it was nothing but from Christmas, especially through New Year's, every day you had 2 or 3 football games you knew you could watch. We all loved it. I love bowl season, but I don't like tying it into the playoffs as far as the home games go.
Yeah. I like all of the points that you made. I'm just going to go on the flip side of it, so we'll have a difference of opinion on it. So I would like to see them do this if they're going to go to 24 teams, and we know that the ticket thing is going to be probably one of the biggest gripes. How do we determine this ticket thing? But in my opinion, I feel like, hey, listen, if you're not the home team, you can't get more tickets than the home team. You should have had a better record. You should have had a higher ranking. So if the home team, a 70-30 is perfect for me. I would even be willing to go 80-20. I don't know if the visiting team would only get 20,000, but that's usually what the case is. And then those bowl committee, whatever bowl it is, they come in and they celebrate these players for making it to this bowl game. You already got the venue that's set. You already know where you're going to be. You can just move all of your festivities to that place, all of the gifts and stuff that you give to those players for playing in that bowl game. It probably eliminates a lot of the background stuff that you have to do because you're already on somebody else's campus and they're already used to doing things a certain kind of way because they had home games there at least half the season anyway. So I like it. I think it will help to preserve bowl season because, like you, I look forward to watching college football during winter break. I still look forward to watching it during winter break as an educator, and I don't ever want that to go away. Even when they're small bowl games, I just want to see college football. But I really do like that idea that if it's a 5-17, I don't mind who it is. I want them to get that extra practice. I want them to be able to get celebrated for playing the game of college football. And if we can get more teams in bowl season, then I'm all for it because it shouldn't be always about the quality of the game as much as it should be about the development of these young people and allowing them to have an opportunity to be celebrated. And that's what happens at these bowl games. So when these bowl games take place, those players get celebrated for being there at that bowl.
Well,
So I'm all for that.
go. Let me throw this at you now. This is kind of on the 5-7 thing. How many years have we seen a team go 5-7 that we thought was going to be a top 5 team?
Mm-hmm.
But an injury or 2 or 3 happen, or something internal happens and it just spirals. Clemson last year just spiraled. LSU spiraled. But that would give the coaching staff a chance to bring in and play some of the freshman kids. Just because we all know bowl games, a lot of people sit out anyway. So to me, there's that. Now, going back to be the argument against your argument for the bringing everything to the certain cities, you have to be careful with who gets the host spots in these playoffs. Some cities may not be able to handle that much traffic.
Yeah, that's true too.
Now, Texas A&M has a massive campus and a massive stadium, but the city's very small. Something like think of a Georgia Tech hosting. It's a very small little area. Now, I know, it's in a big city, but the college is smaller. Like the stadium is smaller. Vanderbilt's small. Can the city handle that much traffic coming into it? That's another thing you have to look at. Where are these games going to be versus what is the city like? Now, I'm sure with enough prep time, you could make it work logistically. But that's another that kind of crossed my mind after our chat yesterday was some of these, places might not be able to handle the amount of traffic coming in for a full bowl game, especially if it happened, which it wouldn't be. It'd be one of the smaller type bowls. But think if it was something along the lines of the size of, say, they named the Peach Bowl, and they brought everything that goes with the Peach Bowl into College Station. That's going to overrun Bryan College Station real fast. Mm-hmm. So that would be the thing I would have to watch is who's hosting. So.
Yeah, that's a really good point, SEC Shannon. I didn't even think about that because if you're not in a major city and you don't have the hotel capacity to be able to house all of these people who are going to be coming to this game, and they gotta go to the nearest big city that might be able to accommodate them, that could be 100 miles. That could be an hour and a half drive just to get to come and see your team play. Now, as fans, we will do that because we're fanatical like that. But it's still inconvenient, man. It is super inconvenient to have to. You want to go see your team, but you gotta stay an hour and a half away in order to be able to do so. So that's a really good point.
Right, because I'm going to use College Station. That's my city I know the most about, and down there for football with Texas. So you're bringing all these people in. Let's say we go an 80-20 split, so A&M and Miami, and you get 30,000 people or 20,000 Miami fans, plus the 80 to 90, 85,000 A&M fans. Let me tell you something. If you've never been to College Station, Texas, there are people going to have to go stay. It's in the middle of Texas. Okay, you're an hour-ish to Waco. You're an hour and a half to Austin. You're an hour and a half to Houston. All these fans are going to have to be staying in those cities because there ain't enough hotels in College Station to handle them all. Not when you start adding in the people from the bowl game, the commentators, all the crew for the film and everything. So that's one thing you have to watch. That's why I really don't even know that College Station can handle a bowl game, to be honest with you, due to the hotel capacity. It would have to shift to, San Antonio has one, Houston has one, Dallas Fort Worth, but Dallas Fort Worth has so much. It's just there's too much need for hotels in cities like that. Columbia, Missouri would be another one I could mention. There's no way they have the hotels in Columbia, Missouri or Columbia, South Carolina to handle a bowl game.
Yeah.
Yes, we know, Rob. Austin has the ability to do it. We know, Rob. You don't have to bring up Austin.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Big Dog Sports 18. We totally agree with you. We feel like 24 is way too much too, and we don't want it to go to 24. But we just wanted to entertain that question. But we appreciate you being in the chat. Make sure that you subscribe. And it's a plethora of us who do this channel, but we all got our own individual channels, and it's scrolling across the bottom. If you want to support us and subscribe to those channels that's rolling across the bottom. But we appreciate you being in. And we agree, it's not basketball. 24 is way too many. We don't even think it's really going to ever get to 24. We believe it's going to stay either at 12, maybe get to 16, but that will be it. But we wanted to tackle that question that if they do go to 24, the first and second round, will they be bowl games on people's home court in order to preserve bowl season? And so if you want to drop your thoughts on that, the hypothetical, if it did go to 24. Let's tackle this next question. Should the collective bargaining agreement be looked at to redistribute the money differently instead of equally? Right now, every school is getting this 20.8 or 20.5, whatever that amount is. And I think we have some teams and some coaches and some universities out there that are saying, listen, we're one of the bigger brands. We bring a lot of money into this pot that's being distributed to all of these places. Should we be getting the same amount of money? And I'll take Texas, for instance, since I'm a Texas Longhorns fan. Should the Texas Longhorns be getting the same amount of money as Sacramento, or any of those other smaller schools who's getting that same amount of money? In my opinion, and I'll let you go first, SEC Sean, I think they should revisit it, in my opinion.
Well, okay. You think it should be done differently, right? You think the bigger schools should get a bigger piece of, okay. So I'm going to play devil's advocate with you, because obviously we both are fans of massive schools. You a Longhorn, I'm an Aggie. I think it needs to stay equal, and here's why. Those other schools, San Jose States, people like that, Fresno States, things like that. What are their media rights? What's the University of Texas media rights?
It's pretty large.
What's the amount of donations coming in from boosters to the University of Texas? What's the amount of money coming into boosters from Fresno State? Indiana didn't start getting good till they started getting boosters named Mark Cuban involved. Texas Tech was mediocre until they got Clay Campbell involved. So these bigger schools have more donors to be able to pump money into it. Texas A&M, I mean, we've got the founder and owner of Buc-ee's. You think that dude don't have some money to throw at the school? Yeah, okay. Numerous veterinarians. I mean, y'all got numerous doctors and lawyers and stuff coming out of Texas. I mean, Oklahoma State has T. Boone Pickens money. SMU has Ross Perot money. I mean, these bigger schools have the financial ability to withstand it. This 20.8 for Fresno State is like you or I hitting the lottery for $1 billion, hitting the Powerball. That's what 20.8 feels like to them. Oh, we got money to spend. We can go get a quarterback, a defensive back, a lineman, and we can compete in our level of football. They can't compete with the Big Ten SECs, Big 12s, AC. They can probably compete, but they're going to get beat. But that's why I think it needs to stay equal, because it's not equal anyway when you add it all in, when you add in media rights. I mean, each school from the SEC, I think last year's annual got like well over $200 million each from all the different stuff they earned for media rights and basketball revenue and football revenue and all this from playoffs and all. They got tons of money. These other schools didn't. And I'm not harping on Fresno State. Please don't, anybody that's a Fresno State alumni or fan, try to hunt me down and come after me, please. I'm not knocking your school. It's just the first one that popped into my head. So that's where I'm going to stand on it. Is I think it needs to stay equal because the big schools have enough to supplant what they need. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, Rob. We know this. I mean, 20.8 million. Y'all Arch is getting about what, 5? Let's just say 5. Okay, so you got 15.8 to distribute between the rest of them. You're going to tell me, yeah, there's plenty of money coming in to pay for the rest of them. Cam Coleman, the 2 running, all that stuff. Y'all got plenty of people that are pulling out their checkbook and writing a check. And not to mention NIL deals for these Lamborghinis and Ferraris and all these different car dealerships that are like, oh, okay, yeah. So I think it needs to stay equal. That's my take on it. And I'll let you can debate the other side.
Yeah, you made some really, really good points. And I hope everybody out there listening was able to gather all those points that you made so that if they're rationalizing their head about this debate, they got something to go off of. I'm on the other side of it, and I'm looking at it this way. What is the budget, the sports budget for these smaller schools? Is it, and we know it's not 20.8. So, just based on that, they just don't have their budget isn't that high to even to need that amount of money. Is my opinion on it. I feel like if your budget for your athletics is here and somebody else's is here, then you should get more of that pie so that you can, be able to have the kind of marketing, the sports budget that you need to have. And I think some people will just have an opportunity to stack some money because they're getting it at 20.8 when really they don't even spend that amount of money on their athletic program. So that's the side that I'm on. I feel like if you're spending up here, you should be able to get compensated there. And if you're spending down here, that's where you should get compensated at based on this collective bargaining agreement. But I want everybody to be able to get equal, but sometimes it ain't about equal. It's just about fair. And I think that if you're bringing in the most money, you got the higher budget, then you should get a bigger piece of the pie, especially when you're bringing in the majority of the money.
There's also, people may have missed this because it's not a major sport, but let's talk Arkansas for a minute. Arkansas, University of Arkansas in Fayetteville. If you think they don't have access to money, people are crazy. There's 2 big industries there's more than that, but the 2 biggest that come out of Arkansas, Tyson Chicken and Walmart. The field has Walmart on the field at Fayetteville. It has Tyson Chicken on the field. These people, they have access to money. They came out a couple of weeks ago cutting their budget for tennis. They canceled their tennis programs, and their tennis programs were ranked in the top 15 in the nation. Mm-hmm. They canceled them. Now, donors have stepped up and saved the program for a couple of years, I think is what it is, like a 2 or 3 year thing. So, this is where we're getting to is what is the cost of running these athletic departments? Why do we have to forfeit some of these quote unquote, I've heard them called Olympic sports? Now maybe Arkansas didn't have the donations coming in like a University of Texas or an A&M because they were down in football, but their basketball team was really good. They're always good in women's softball and baseball too, and track. We know that. So maybe the donations just weren't coming in because of football, because we all know football drives the bus. But I haven't heard of the University of Texas canceling their rowing team.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of one of those things that this is why it takes more than just the 20.8, because 20.8 can't fund a full athletic program. That's why you have to have the donors. And that's where, going back to my point, I think the money needs to stay equal. I would even be fine if you have enough, I would even be okay if you told me that the smaller schools were going to get 22 and the bigger schools were going to get 20 because of the media rights deals. I'd be fine with that too. Give these other lower level college football programs a little bit more to see if they can start competing. So,
yeah, definitely good points. Definitely good points. Next question we got in there, and it's the big debate. The big debate, sports and politics, should they mix? I mean, we hear a lot about this topic, and I want to get your side of it, and then I'll give my side of it, and we'll just see if we see eye to eye, and if we don't, I mean, it's okay. You're Aggie, I'm a Longhorn, so we already don't see eye to eye right there. So, give me your thoughts on this big debate: sports and politics. Should they mix?
No. Sports. Look, there's three things I've always thought that should never be brought up in the same conversation: politics, sports, and religion. Because about 25 things can go bad when you start mixing those conversations, and about one can go good. And the only one that goes good is if you're talking with somebody that agrees with you on sports, on politics, and on religion. The rest of them doesn't end well. I don't like it. Sports and politics. Now, let me preface by saying this. I do believe in the case we're dealing with, where the government is trying to get in to help fix college football and what's going on, is okay. But as far as, do I think they should? I don't think it ever should have got to that point. But we're at this point, which is a breaking point, which is going to change. Everything's already changed, but was going to get worse if they didn't step in and do something. So I'm kind of on the fence here. I don't like to mix the two, but I think in some instances you have to mix the two for the good of the whole sport, which is what I think we're doing here. But on a random topic, if me, you, and all the guys are sitting around at a cookout and we start talking sports, well, you and I are already going to argue. We know the Michigan and Ohio State guys are going to argue. So now people are going to get in a bad mood. Then you're going to mix in politics, and my politician may not be your politician. So now we're going to argue even more. And then you start bringing in, oh, well, my religion's better. No, well, wait a minute. Hold on. See, so I don't like mixing the three or the two even. But I guess it'll be kind of hypocritical, but I will say I do see the reasoning why they're doing it in college football, in college athletics right now, with Congress and everything. But I do think they did it the right way by bringing in some of the better minds that have been in the sport, your Nick Sabans, people like that. So I don't like to mix them. It's just my theory on it. I just don't like it, but I guess sometimes you have to.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on the other side of it, and I feel like I think that we already know that there's going to be differences. I think I would like to see us grow to the point where it's not an argument. You know what I'm saying? It should be. I want to see it get to the point where. Well, we know the situation with Colin Kaepernick and what he was trying to do. We know there's been other athletes who have used their platform to sort of try to get certain things recognized and and they had a political view on him. I was reading. I was looking at a headline that says Jackson Dart was seen at a Trump rally. So what? If he supports Trump, he should be allowed to go to a Trump rally. It, that should not be an issue. And for to throw that headline out there, I know they put the headline out there to get clicks and for people to look at it because it's a catchy topic. But so what? If he supports Trump, that's his business. You know what I'm saying? He should not be looked at negatively, or he should not be looked at higher than he should be just because he is or isn't with a certain candidate. I feel like if we got two candidates, if you like one over the other, that should be fine. Nobody should get bent out of shape at the fact that you like the other candidate. I mean, like for instance, you and I, you like the Aggies, I like the Longhorns, and we get along just fine. Yeah, we're gonna go back and forth and say what we say, but at the end of the day, SEC Sean and Robert are going to be cool regardless of the fact that we like opposing teams because we got the kind of mindset that, man, that ain't no big deal. That's just sports. And it should just be politics or it should just be religion, you know. And we got to get to the point where our mindset is, man, listen, everybody is entitled to feel the way they want to feel, support who they want to support. And it should not bend anybody out of shape because they do. I'm not going to dislike anybody because they choose somebody over somebody else. If that's what you want to do, that's fine with me. That does not make you a bad person. You know what I mean? So I'm okay with it. I think sometimes in sports, you got to use your platform politically. And I think in the case of politicians having to get involved in this college football mess, I'm all for that because it is needed. We got to get this thing fixed because we all know it's a mess. And if our higher powers, the people that we elect to handle problems within the country, are there for that reason, man, you better step in here and do it. And I think that it's their duty to do that because it's a mess. And that mess needs to be fixed. And that's why we got people in the government. So I'm okay with it either way. But if somebody wants to mix sports and politics, we can have that discussion. We can have differences of opinion, but it should not change the way we feel about each other. If you started off cool, you should stay cool. And if you didn't start off cool, you should find the reality that people are going to be different. They're going to have differences of opinion, but that does not mean you should dislike them. Because I guarantee you, if you get to know them, you're going to like something about them enough that their political views, their sports teams or whatever, it won't even be no issue because deep down inside, they're going to be good human beings, even if y'all have a difference of opinion on religion, on sports, or on politics.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fact. I mean, I'm going to drop it to a different level here real quick about the whole Jackson Dart thing. I totally forgot about him until you mentioned it. I saw it pop up yesterday, but I just didn't cross my mind today. I'm going to kind of soapbox for a second. We're talking about debating things about somebody who voted for or supports one certain person or doesn't support this person. Y'all realize we're facing Memorial Day, which is to honor the people that gave the ultimate sacrifice to give us the right to support who we want to. It gave me the right to support Texas A&M. It gave Rob the right, wrong as it may be, to support the University of Texas. But we have these freedoms. We can say things. We can do things because of those people. We all have our own people we support. There's people on our team at WTP Sports Suits. We have Michigan guys. We have Ohio State guys. We have Notre Dame guys. We have Florida State guy. We have Duke lady. And Notre Dame, I guess, Duke and Notre Dame lady. We have Doug, who's a Longhorn fan, who's a really good friend of mine. It just proves that Aggies and Longhorns can get together. But, this is what I'm thinking. We're making too much out of certain things in this country nowadays. If I support candidate A and you support candidate B, and I go to a rally for candidate A, and you see I went to this rally for candidate A, I don't think you're going to leave me off the WTP Sports Suits team.
Not at all.
Okay. Again. So that's kind of where I am. There's more important things in this world than where did Jackson Dart go to support what candidate. So speaking of which, I just kind of threw up in my mouth a little bit because we're cleaning up for our great move coming up later this year. And I came across this.
Yeah, that's a reason to throw up for sure. Hey, but listen, man, you eating steak and potatoes now, buddy. You eat steak and potatoes now.
Yeah. So, I saw that and I went, well, I could have done without that this morning, but whatever.
Yeah, let's end our show on some talk about Kyle Busch and the tragedy that happened to the NASCAR or the race car driving world. I mean, he expands beyond, NASCAR and Formula One and Indy and all of that. Just give us your thoughts on Kyle Busch, what he's meant to you as a huge race car fan, and how you're feeling emotionally about that.
Let me say this too, that if you want to know more about Kyle Busch that I'm going to get into today, I'm going to plug. I did a show on my channel, which I shared it to the WTB everything, but it's called Remembering Kyle Busch. You can, if you want some more info, you can go watch that. I will come out and say now that we have had a cause of death released on Mr. Busch, he had a sinus infection, which turned into pneumonia and went septic. So that's all I'm going to get into. That's all the family's released. I'm not going anymore. You're going to see these stupid videos online. Please ignore them when you see them. And it's him talking about, by the time you see this, I will be gone. Bullshit. He was sorry. He didn't say that. That's not him. That's AI stuff, and I hate it, and it's garbage. And I'd like to find the guy who did it and take care of him myself. But another subject. I can't stand stuff like that. Kyle Busch was probably one of the most phenomenal racers I've ever seen. I mentioned this in the thing, and I'll mention it again. There was a guy a movie back in the day called Driven with Sylvester Stallone. Terrible movie. Don't ever watch it. God, it's terrible. But somebody was talking about him controlling an Indy car, and he threw quarters on the ground and swerved in and out of them. Okay, that didn't happen, really. Let me just go ahead and be real. So Kyle Busch, growing up in Vegas, living in a cul-de-sac, went outside. He didn't have a bunch of quarters, so he threw Coke tabs down. The pull tabs off your Coke, right? And he put them in a little pattern. And he went through them without touching one of them. At 6 years old. Okay? This year, 10 years ago, he won his first championship. He wrecked in the Daytona. It was the slower series, what we call the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series now. He wrecked at Daytona, the first race of the year, broke legs, bones, everything. It was a horrendous wreck. Missed all the way up until this weekend. He made his return to the Cup Series on this weekend in 2015. He missed 11 races. And he earned enough points from now to the end to make the playoffs. He dominated that much in the back half of the season and then won the championship by beating my driver, Kevin Harvick, who was going for 2 in a row. I was not a Kyle Busch fan. I respected what he could do with a car and how he raced. This ripped the motorsports community apart. F1 guys have been posting stuff. This tells you, everybody will hear that F1 and NASCAR and IndyCar don't all get along. Let me tell you something. Racers are racers. F1 guys have done stuff. Formula One has done stuff. IndyCar, has done stuff. IndyCar is planning a moment of silence, I believe, at lap 18 today at the Indianapolis 500 for a NASCAR driver. That just didn't happen, but it is. The Carolina Hurricanes, obviously right there in North Carolina, posted a tribute for him in a moment of silence before that happened the day of their opening round hockey game. And if you're into numbers, the car they're going to use now is the number 33. They're going to retire the number 8 car until Kyle Busch's son, Brexton, wants to drive NASCAR, and that's going to be his number. Well, at the Carolina hockey game, in the Eastern Conference Finals, they did their little tribute. Then they started the game. The car they're going to use is the 33. The first goal was scored 33 seconds into the game. The final score of the game was 4-1. Kyle Busch was 41 when he passed away. Just weird little things like that happen with sports. I'm not saying there's no conspiracy or nothing, okay? I'm just saying it's weird. Dominant driver. Funny. Oh, my God. Interview he did after him and Joey Logano got into a fight, literally a fist fight on pit road after the race. They both went to the NASCAR hauler. When Kyle Busch came out, the reporter, as they always do, put the microphone in the mouth. Kyle, his response, I'm great. Everything's fine. Can't wait to get in the car next week. Well, Kyle, can you tell us about, I'm great. Everything's fine. Can't wait to get in the car next week. Well, Kyle, what about, I'm great. I'm fine. Can't wait to get, that's all he said about 6 or 7 times back. Kind of like, I'm only here so I don't get fined. We all remember that clip. Okay. Same thing. The the NASCAR community is devastated. People came off, cancel the race. NASCAR doesn't cancel races. The race car drivers are wired differently. They in that cockpit, so to speak, they don't think about anything else. They won't have to think about Kyle. They won't. If you cancel the race, they're all just going to sit there sad and moping. That's not what they do, and that's not what he would want. They'd want him to race. They didn't stop racing when Dale Sr. died. They're not going to stop now. But I will tell everybody, if you go watch my video, hopefully you'll enjoy it. But there is, on YouTube, NASCAR has a channel on YouTube, and they have little spots on there you can search through and find NASCAR Radioactive. What that is that's when the drivers key up their radio in the car and start yelling and screaming and complaining about stuff. Kyle Busch is on there almost every day. And it's funny. He is hilarious. But like I said, also in my video, I wasn't a Kyle Busch fan, but I think that's got to do with what I call the Yankee syndrome. He wins so much. When people think of NASCAR and winning, they think of Richard Petty, who has 200 career wins. Kyle Busch has 270-ish, right around that range. He's got 102 in the O'Reilly Series, 769 in the Truck Series, and I think 63 in the Cup Series. And that's not counting any other lower series that he's won in either. Just those major 3. He's at 230, 240, somewhere around there. So it's been a shock to the NASCAR community, but as happened when Dale passed away, we'll get together and we'll move forward. I heard the adage that, NASCAR is like a family reunion. We all love and care about each other. Even the crazy uncle in the corner, which was normally Kyle Busch, by the way. And even, at the end of the day, it's still family, and everybody's, holding on to each other, and everybody's lifting up and supporting each other. And that's what we'll do. And we'll move on, and we'll be, I'm not going to say we'll be better in the long run, but, we'll be, we'll feel better in the long run, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's just The most poignant phrase, and I closed my show with this the other night, came from Brad Keselowski, one of the other racers, saying how Kyle pushed him to be the best. He said Kyle stole some victories from him, but he stole some from Kyle. And he said when he gets out there on the track now, he's going to feel like the coyote with no roadrunner to chase. Mm-hmm. And kind of sad and poignant. But I sent a video to the group chat yesterday about them lowering the number 33 car off the rack out of the hauler. And this never happens, by the way. When they take cars off, normally everybody's doing it. It's loud. It is. Cars are cranking up. Engines are firing. When they started lowering that 33 car off, and even the number 3 car, which is the teammate to the 8, every other team just stopped and put their hands down and stopped. And it was pure silence while they were lowering these 2 cars. It's just what NASCAR does. It's family. So it's going to be an emotional day today. I can tell you that. That's why I'm glad this show's early, because at about 5 o'clock when they start the pre-race, I'm probably going to be like a little baby.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. But I appreciate you giving us that on Kyle Busch, man. We really appreciate that. Everybody go and check out SEC Sean's channel on YouTube, where he did something on Kyle Busch, and he's going to probably do something later on today dealing with Kyle Busch as well. Or just go check out all of his NASCAR series that he's because I've learned so much about NASCAR when I knew absolutely nothing before he joined the show with us. Now I know a whole lot more, and I'm even interested in going and catching a race here sometime in the near future. But I appreciate you for that, SEC shot.
Oh, 100%. Anybody interested? Of course, they'll be racing in, I want to say Michigan, June 6th. It's 2 hours from here, Brooklyn, Michigan. But I'll say this. People that say I can't watch the races because I don't have cable or whatever, and they're on Fox and stuff. Let me just give you a little insight. Right now, for the next 5 weeks, we're on Prime, Amazon Prime. So if you have Amazon Prime, which I'm going to go ahead and assume probably 95% of the people watching this have Amazon Prime. But even if you don't, and you're like, what is this NASCAR stuff about? Sign up for a free trial. It's a 30-day free trial. You can watch all 5 races in a row on Amazon Prime for free. And NASCAR's promoting that. So you can watch them for free if you have Amazon Prime or you sign up for a free trial. It's 5 weeks that you can kind of see what it's all about. Like Robert said, I appreciate the plug, but if you're not sure what it's about, go hit up my channel. There's a NASCAR for Beginners series all on there. I'd start, if you're going to go look at it, I'd start probably around series 3 or 4 on the series, because the first one's more of the history of NASCAR. You can watch them all and I'd appreciate it. But if you want to know more about what goes on, start about there. But, I appreciate you letting me talk about Kyle a little bit. It's been a rough couple of days. But again, as it is when anybody passes away, whether it's a family member, friend, whatever, baby steps. Put one foot in front of the next every day, and every step gets easier to take. So something I live by. So appreciate the couple of minutes there just to kind of ramble about him. He was one of the giants. Think of Kobe passed away. Somebody brought this up in our chat when Kobe passed away, how it affected basketball. And my difference there is Kobe had already retired. Kyle was still active. So that's not saying one's better than the other or worse than the other. I'm not saying that. Kobe passing was tragic. So, but just kind of my similarities there with them. So yeah, I appreciate it. We're gonna get through today. We're gonna go watch some Indy. I think the Truck Series race kicks off right now, and then Indy kicks off in an hour, and then the Cup Series is tonight under the lights. And let me tell you something; it's a fun race to watch. seeing those cars under some lights, Rob, you can't fathom how cool they look.
Yeah, I bet it's cool. Everybody out there, we enjoyed you today. Thank you for tuning in and watching us here at WTP Sports Dudes. We will be back again on Tuesday at 7:45, Wednesday at 7:45, Thursday at 7:45, Saturday at 10 a.m., and on Sunday at 9 a.m. So during the week, we're on in the evening. During the weekend, we're on in the AM, and we'll be bringing you some more shows on Friday once we get closer to college football season. So make sure that you hit that bell so that you can get notifications anytime we get ready to go live. We appreciate your support. Make sure you check us out on Patreon and Spotify at WTP Sports Dudes 2026. And also check out our website at WTPSportsDudes.com. You're out of here for the day. Enjoy the rest of your day. SEC Sean, I appreciate you this morning, bro.
No problem, man. I appreciate it. And hey, man, y'all do what the man says. So go like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Get ready to roll with us. Let's go.
All right. Peace, bro.
All right. Peace, brother.
All right.